What is your body's version of a glitch? Precordial catch syndrome. What's this stabbing pain in my lung area? Oh, it's literally nothing, with no particular cause, and no lasting effects. But we are going to do it again in a few months for no reason anyway. I just looked this up, and I have a question. When this happens, does it feel like your ability to take an air is blocked in just one very specific part of the lung? I'm wondering if this is what happened to me a few times in my 20s. I'm not sure. I usually feel like I don't want to take an air in the area where it's happening because breathing deeply makes it hurt more, but I'm not sure I've ever felt like I can't take an air. Yo, I have felt this pain since I was really young, and it confuses me so much. So first off, thanks for revealing the name to me, because I literally couldn't find it. But yeah, every few months for like 5 minutes maybe breathing in will cause sharp pain in my lungs, and then I think maybe more oxygen will fix things, and then breathing in harder just hurts more. Random pain in random parts of your body that just go. When my body does that fake fall thingy. Choking on your own saliva and coughing. When I randomly run out of breath in the middle of a sentence and have to take a second to catch up. When your eyelid twitches and it kinda feels nice, but then you start to worry that it's never going to stop, but it stops few. Sometimes when I walk up the stairs my body somehow forgets how to walk in stairs, so either I stop or I get really confused how much I should lift my leg. Same, sometimes I end up tripping. I have glasses, and sometimes regardless of whether or not I'm wearing them my eyes will just lose focus of whatever I was previously looking at, and I have to take a second to refocus my eyesight, particularly frustrating during school. The double vision thing. Yeah, not fun at all. Happens when I'm really focused on a video game, probably not a good sign, but oh well. I have a feeling that you need to get your eyes checked again. That shouldn't be happening with glasses. I'm past due for another exam, but it's been happening for years. I take pills for my anxiety. Whenever I forget to take them, I get this weird glitches inside my head, like electric zaps, as if my brain was reconfigurating. They kinda make me lose conscious for half a second. This is when don't do drugs is false. Oof. I get scalp tingles, motion sickness, limb cramps and uncomfortable dreams when I forget mine. I wake up halfway and get panic attacks with a strange sensation of loss or frustration. I have to hug myself and rock back and forth until I wake up. The panic goes, but the anxiety is a squatter. Bonus fun, I always know I forgot to take my meds when I sit down to play a video game and immediately get queasy. Mental illness is the literal worst. Been there. With a couple of meds. Awful. Night kicks like I'm stumbling down a set of stairs, or am tripping on something. Cancer, the sheer fact that our bodies can defy itself and produce too many cells and end up possibly killing itself because of it, is essentially like an unfixed bug in a game. I have bursitis in my right hip to some degree or another. Every once in a while, maybe once a month, I'll take a step forward and my leg doesn't want to hold me up due to a sudden stabbing pain. It's super exciting when it happens. I'm not sure that I would use the word exciting when I suddenly lose the ability to walk like a normal sane person. Walking into a room to do something and then immediately forgetting what you need as soon as you get through the doorway. Sneezing when you look into the sun. Fartic sneeze reflex. Only about 1/3 of the population has this reflex, which is hairy. I have low blood pressure and I'm really tall. When I stand up too fast I brown out sometimes, and if I don't sit down or crouch fast enough occasionally I end up having a bit of a seizure. It's weird, man. When I'm walking down the street and suddenly become aware that someone is watching me, I suddenly forget how to walk like a human and do a weird jerky walk instead until I can get back into rhythm. I have vitiligo, which makes my skin white on certain sections of my body. When you feel a sneeze coming, but you don't sneeze. My eyes sometimes shake from side to side. I don't know what causes it, but it's super annoying. It's called nystagmus. Certain drugs and other conditions can cause it. I'm aware of the terminology. I wonder if Zoloft causes it. Food for thought. Look it up. I take Precordial, and I know that it causes it too. I get a quick eye dart when I'm concentrating sometimes. I'm on Zaloft. Psychosis and delusions. You know how your brain can find patterns where there are none? Well, my brain does that when I'm psychotic, to the point where I have delusions of reference. I also have borderline personality disorder, so that could be a glitch. My bones shattering, yet my bones are so weak they break. If I trip, I have broken both of my arms 6 times, both of my ankles, and nearly my spine. I can still walk though. I can't even imagine how hard that must be for you. Hope everything goes well for you in the future. If I don't eat on time, my body tells me to throw up. Brain farts. It's like your brain is still loading. When random parts of my body start spazzing, like the muscle starts moving. If you have ever gotten muscle stimulation therapy, much like that lol. I will randomly spaz out for no reason. Analogy. It is literally your body reacting to an otherwise harmless substance, as if it was lethal. Anaphylaxis kills people, not because of the allergen, but because of the body's reaction to it. E.g. swelling in the throat preventing breathing. When I'm at work or busy around the house and I forget what I was going to do, so I just stand there staring into nothingness until I remember. Pulling a muscle while I stretch. IDK if it's really a glitch, but my bones creak like an old house. I'm 19. It'll get random, full body spasms. I can't ever tell when it's about to happen, and it's really no big deal, because I'm used to it, but it's freaked a lot of people out. Sometimes my eyes will involuntarily move side to side ridiculously quickly. Move your eyes side to side as fast as you can. Mine will move faster. Mine can do this, but only on command. It's not a glitch, if you call it a feature. My hearing. I hear sounds that don't exist if they do that thing where they beep and one goes deaf, while the other heightens lol like, is there an alien thing to connect with me? Sounds like it could be tinnitus. When you have random muscle spasms after using your muscles extensively, that little twitch that comes randomly and lasts for a minute or two, then goes away. When I stutter in the middle of a sentence, I have one rib that sticks out more than the other. Me too. It's on the left side and looks a bit funny. Phantom limb sensations after amputation. After you get up too fast and your head thuds really hard. That weird area in between extremely hungry and nausea. You want to eat because you're so hungry, but can't because you're nauseous from being so hungry. Sometimes I get cramp under my chin. Freaks me out and is a bit painful, but only lasts a few seconds. Random burps or a yawn that never comes out. I may be acidic. If I lay on my right side for too long, it feels like my heart is slowing down and about to stop. My hip grumbling literally every time I take a step that moves my hip at all. Also my wrists, back, and shoulders cracking when I stretch. My left knee pops every 20 minutes. When I feel my phone vibrate, but my phone isn't even in my pocket. If I'm staring at something for a long time, like writing a paper, my eyes will lose focus sometimes, and drift around the campus. I have to readjust, which takes me less than a second, but this happens rarely. If I'm staring at something for a long time, like writing a paper, my eyes will lose focus sometimes, and drift around the campus. I have to readjust, which takes me less than a second, but this happens rarely. Running into a door, because I think I can open it while going trough. I got this thing going on with my right foot. When I move it a certain way, something feels like it snaps into place, and it sends a sharp pain through my foot for a second. Did you ever got that checked out? Seems like something's not right there. Could be a muscle that is out of place. I've been meaning to make an appointment for a while now, but I just keep forgetting. When you're about to pass out and get twitchy from loss of muscle control. Whenever I stand up too fast, the blood can't reach my head fast enough, so I almost black out and collapse on the ground. When you yawn, and then a jet of saliva comes out, hitting all who are around you. Sometimes I get coughing fits so bad that I get a huge throbbing pain on the back of my neck. When you walk, then suddenly your foot just twists sideways making you fall. When your ankle gives out when you walk. Fake falling when I'm falling asleep. Actually one of the weirdest feeling I've had. For a split, out of nowhere, you feel like you're falling, and yet you aren't, but your body twitches, as if you were falling. This happens very rarely, like once a year for a few minutes. Everything speeds up. My thoughts are super fast. My and everyone else's movements are super fast. My heart rate is normal in that time, and it comes and goes out of nowhere. Don't know what it is and why it happens, but it's so rare that I don't really care to look into it. Every great once in a while, like maybe twice a year, I become feverish all of a sudden. Sometimes during my sleep, sometimes not. Just incredibly hot and dehydrated feeling. I drink a glass of water and immediately start sweating buckets, getting the chills. I often wind up mildly hypokalemic as a result. I naturally tend to be a bit low on potassium, getting muscle cramps, and a bit of an electrified feeling, until I bring my levels back up. The whole fever drink chills bit runs a grand total of about 10 minutes. Resulting exhaustion can last longer. I have never known why this happens. When I have an urge, when I get upset, to bang my head onto something. The lead up to panic attacks. Oh no, we are panicking. Release adrenaline. Oh no, the adrenaline is making us panic more. Release adrenaline. Oh no, the adrenaline is making us panic more. Release adrenaline. One hard reboot later. Fartic sneeze reflex. I will sneeze several times every first time my eyes exposed to sunlight every day. I believe it's more related to nostril reflex and the air trapped in my stomach, but yeah, it's kind of weird when I ask my friends and they don't have that glitch. Every ACL reconstruction reverts to a torn ACL, even after quitting rugby and eventually quitting sports in general. When I chew out of gum or swallow, sometimes I get a burning pain in the back of my neck. When I go to talk and snot from nowhere shoots out of my nose. Happens like twice a year for no good reason. I occasionally get an intense stabbing feeling in my neck for a second or two at a time, kinda unnerving. When I start stuttering randomly mid-convo. My knees always hurt at night no matter what. My eye twitching for no reason. So annoying. I'm ridiculously good at firing slingshots whatever's at targets. I'm a software engineer, so I don't plan on making money on that slingshot glitch. Whenever I stand up my vision blacks out for just a second. When my elbow hits something in a certain way, that it makes that weird pain. My hand would randomly just turn at a 90-degree out of nowhere, mad me annoyed mostly when playing games. When you're about to fall asleep, and you start falling. User error right there. A limb falling asleep, and thus not responding to your input is a little like lag. Misinputting in a video game. Or doing something subconsciously with your inputs. Such as pressing something you know works, but you don't normally ever do it, and you don't try to do it, but your body just does it anyway and presses the buttons to do it, and it works, and I'm left like, wow, I subconsciously killed that guy. Whenever I stand up my entire forehead gets white, I get dizzy and almost fall over. Only lasts 30 seconds. Whenever I'm outside, if I look anywhere near directly at the sun I sneeze. Might be normal. Don't know. Had surgery on one arm, and ever since, occasionally when holding something in that hand it will just spasm and open up, and I'll drop whatever I'm holding. Sometimes I kinda have these weird moments, where it feels like all my senses go into overdrive. Time seems to be moving faster around me, everything seems louder, I feel like I notice more small details. Whenever I touch my fingers together I can feel the exact points of contact up to the very edges, as if someone is pushing on them with the end of a pencil. It's super weird and it doesn't happen very often anymore, but when I was in America last year it happened often over the course of 8 days.